Okay, so here we go. So all I've really done is I've created a wooden leg, right? It's a cube. Now I will tell you that edge flow and using the proper mapping techniques, the proper modeling techniques, making sure that you have the right geometry, not too much, not too little, is going to play a critical role when you're creating these characters and when you're rigging. For today, I'm using a cube because the cube will suit our purposes. Later on, when we do actually get to our next little bit of this assignment, we're going to smooth the cube out and make him a worm. But for right now, I want to go as simple as possible. So I've got a cube. Now I want to add divisions to the cube because if I start adding joints to this, right now there is essentially one division here. And if you think about this like wood, if you don't have any joints or hinges or anything in this, if this was just one solid piece of material, if you tried to bend it in the middle, it's not going to work. Okay? You're going to end up breaking it or something else. So I don't know if that helps to give you the mental picture or not, but you've got to have divisions to be able to split this up and to kind of hinge the material. So I'm going to use the Edit Mesh Insert Edge Loop tool, which is found in my Polygons tool set. Edit Mesh Insert Edge Loop tool, which is right here, and I'm just going to come in and I'm going to add some divisions to the top. I'm not going to worry about the distance right now. I just want 3 divisions on the top, 3 divisions in the middle. And truth be told, I don't even need the divisions on the top and the bottom, but I'm just doing them just because it's more of a habit than anything else. No. Does not need to be perfect. You can just, in fact, I'm leaving mine like this. You can see that the divisions aren't spaced out evenly. If you want to spend some time making sure that they are, you can. If you know the Insert Edge Loop tool, you can actually get the Insert Edge Loop tool to make them equally spaced for you. But this is as simple as it gets as far as activities are concerned. I don't want to make it overcomplicate it. Okay. In order to get my joints inside of my little leg, my foot, whatever you want to call it, I've got to go to my front view or my side view. The joint tool does not work very well in the perspective view. When you start clicking it out, the joints don't stay in a straight line. They end up going all wonky. So I'm going to go in the side view, and just to make this helpful, I'm going to try to straighten out my object. Okay, just in the graph editor, or I'm sorry, using the graph, the grid behind it. I'm just going to try to straighten this up so that when I start doing my joints, it's a little more symmetrical, work out a little bit better for me. So that's my front view. Here's my side view. Something that becomes important when you are rigging is you want to make sure, again, especially if you're using IKs, that you don't straighten your joints too much. You don't want your joint to bend in the wrong direction. You want it to be in the proper direction. So here I have my lovely grease pencil. I'm going to fall in love with this tool, I'm just telling you. So instead of, oh, I need to click a frame to start drawing on. Apparently I don't know how to use the grease pencil. So a lot of times, a lot of mistakes that people make when they start doing their joints is they start bringing them down, and I'm using my mouse right now, so forgive the terrible drawing. And they just go straight, and that's actually a big no-no. So let me undo all that. You want to actually keep your joints. You want to do your joints so that they can bend, so that when we go in this way, that the joint doesn't kind of go out of whack. And this will make more sense when I actually do it. So let me grab my joint tool, which is found in my animation tool set, and it's located right next to the turn ghosting off option. This is your joint tool. I'm just going to go click 1, click 2, click 3. Hit enter. That is going to be my leg. Okay? If you go straighter than that, so if you go to your joint tool and you go click, 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 when you start moving it with the IK tool, it doesn't know which way is forward and which way is backwards. And what ends up happening is you end up with a knee that bends the wrong direction. And this isn't taken, so we don't want people to walk around with knees that go in the wrong direction. So we're going to grab, we're going to click, click, and click. And that's the good layout. Now let me go to my front view and make sure that this is nice and centered. Okay, I'm gonna have to move it over a little bit. If the joints are positioned this way, the folding and bending isn't gonna work. If they're positioned too far this way, the folding and bending isn't gonna work. But just right here, right dead center, that's right where you want it to be. Okay, continuing on. Now, I want to use what's called the IK tool, the IK handle tool, which is located right here. Nope, that's the orient joint tool. It's right here. I was clicking on it and I didn't even realize it. It's right here. It's the IK handle tool. This creates an IK, an inverse kinematic between between two joints. So I'm going to click on the tool and click on my thigh joint and click on my ankle joint. And what that does is that creates a handle that when I move, it will move my knee. It's real simple. I mean, there's really not much to it. Now, the other thing is you notice that when I move it up, that this knee is not moving backwards. That's exactly what we want. We don't want the knee to be bending so that this part moves out. Okay, so there's my handle. Now, really, the last step, the last thing we're going to do today is we're going to skin it. We want to attach this series of joints to the polygon. To do it, we select the we select our joints. So select your top joint, which will then select all the joints lower in the chain. We shift and select our mesh, and under the animation tool set, we go to Skin, Bind Skin, Smooth Bind. And if all is done correctly, we can move that. And now we have our little foot. Even there, your knee's not supposed to do that. But there we have a little bit of a foot. So I can move it over, move it up, and essentially I can really just start doing a simple walk. Now there are all sorts of problems with this. One, it goes backwards. Two, when I pull it in, it shrinks a little bit too much right in there. Okay, we don't want it to deform quite that much. Those are some of the problems that we'll fix when we add controls and we do a little bit of paint weighting. But all I want you to do today is I basically want you to create this leg and just have some fun with it. Create a walk cycle if you want. Create two legs and make them walk around. But in general, all I want from you today is I just want you to experiment with those three simple joints, an IK handle, and adding it to the, and then skinning it to a polygon mesh. Okay, so think Lego horse, I guess, in this, because this is, I can almost make him dance like Psy, but not quite. So, there we go. We'll figure it out. But clearly, obviously that's a leg or a foot, or if you did 5 of them, you've kind of got a simple finger, right? So that is, or toes, yes. That really long, freakish toes. But essentially, that's all I want you to work on, is I just want you to get the basic idea down. So we're going to go ahead and we'll stop the video for now. I'll put this in the folder as SimpleIK handle, and you can refer to it there if you need help. But the remainder of class time is now yours.
Yay!